So how did we start High Five Hope? It was about 2 years ago, and I was in the Philippines on an island called Cebu. And I decided to go jogging one morning, but it was really hot outside, so I decided to go jogging early in the morning, about 6 a.m. And as I ran around, I quickly got lost and found myself in a very poor part of the town. There were lean-tos and shacks and people sleeping on cots held up between two trees. And as I ran around, I found quite a few kids playing basketball. And basketball in the Philippines is sort of like football or soccer is in Brazil or Latin America or Europe. It is a huge sport. And so there's courts to be found behind every building or garage, anywhere that can hold a hoop, and kids can find some room to bounce the ball around. So I started playing some games with the kids and from court to court, and pretty soon I had a pretty large group of kids running behind me. And I kind of stick out. I'm 6'4", bald and white, and running through a poor part of the Philippines. I stick out, and so it's easy to spot me, and I gathered a lot of attention from the kids. Eventually I had about 30, 40, and almost 50 kids running behind me, and we were playing basketball from court to court, and this went on for a couple hours and just having a great time together. Later that day I was shopping, and I stopped by a sporting goods store, and I thought, you know, I'm going to buy some basketballs for all those kids I played with this morning. So I ended up renting 4 different taxis and bought lots of basketballs, filled up the taxis full of balls, put them in the trunk, in the back seat, put them in the passenger seat. I even had the taxi drivers holding some on their lap. And then like a caravan, we moved all those taxis out and drove back to that same neighborhood where all the kids were at that morning. And we handed out the basketballs to all the kids. And the kids were so excited and happy, and we played more games together and went from court to court and little neighborhood to neighborhood, passing out basketballs for a couple hours. Later that night I was flying back to the United States, and I thought that little gesture, handing a ball to a kid in need, it doesn't feed that kid for a week, and it doesn't help them if they're sick, but it certainly brought some happiness to that kid. How else can we use sports and basketball to bring happiness, and more importantly, some of those great attributes and characteristics of sports, finding friends on the court, learning how to collaborate as a team, learning how to try your best and do your best for a result, learning confidence and self-discipline. How can we use sports for kids in need in developing parts of the world? And that was the beginning of High Five Hope.